Over a year ago, I walked into Generation Church not really knowing what to expect. I was lost, I was in a place of despair, and I was really, really far from God. I was in a long-term relationship with somebody who I knew I wasn't supposed to be with deep down. There was a lot of struggles, and I was really lost. He ended the relationship with me, and there was no context. And while amicable, I didn't understand it and I was angry. I was in a really dark place where I wasn't really feeling connected to my full purpose and who I was supposed to be. I was scrolling through my social media and I saw an ad with a beautiful big red logo that said, "Join us this Sunday," and it was a poll where you can click yes or no. And I clicked yes, and almost immediately I received a text message from Caro, who said she couldn't wait to meet me and to come that following Sunday. So I went to the 11 a.m. service. And I have to be honest, I didn't know what to expect. I had been to several churches before, but it had been about 5-6 years since I had gone to any service. Growing up, I think I had this expectation of church where you had to give and you had to show up and be your best self. It just wasn't something that was in my routine because I was fearful of how I had to present myself, and that if I wasn't whole and I wasn't the perfect Christian, I couldn't go. So when I walked into Generation, that overwhelming peace that I felt was because I could fully be myself. As soon as I walked in, while I was in such a place of sadness and despair, I felt such an overwhelming peace. I didn't have any words. I just sat there and I cried and I worshiped and I listened to the word, and in that moment, I knew I was home. And that day I decided, you know what, this is really hard, but I'm gonna give God 1 year of my life. And that next year was so powerful. Day by day, whether I was giving him just 1 day or 1 hour or 1 week, I had to fully commit to that year and be obedient because he stood in the gap for me, and he little by little was showing me my purpose. I had joined one of the small groups. I was on the serve team where I was doing outreach in our community, and through that small group, I was hearing so many different testimonies of people and watching them give their life to Christ, and I decided that it had already been quite some time and I was in a safe space where I could fully surrender and give my life to Christ. So I chose to be baptized. This gave me that moment to publicly outpour my faith and show people that there's so much beauty in surrender. Aside from healing at Generation Church, I was also growing as a person. So that decision to be baptized a few months after attending Generation Church was the best decision I could have ever made for myself. And now I get to stand in the gap for others and continue serving and continue growing my faith. Today, my prayer life is stronger than it has been before. I definitely feel more intentional when I talk to God, and I recognize that while I did surrender and make the decision to follow him and commit to him fully, there still were hard things in my life, and there are still challenges that I have to navigate. But the difference is that I no longer have to navigate those things on my own, and I recognize that I don't have the power to heal those things without God. When I meditate on his word and I hear him speaking to me and I ask him throughout the day to talk to me, to show me exactly what he needs me to do, even if it's not what I want to do, the intentionality of my life changes and the direction of everything that I do changes. It changed my heart fully because it changed the way that I see things. It changed the way that I see myself. Giving God 1 year of my life was the best decision I could have made. While I was so sad and so broken, he showed up for me. And when I look back over that year, I never imagined that I would be in a place full of joy, healed, with a heart posture stronger than ever, and I plan to give him every single year for the rest of my life.